Hey guys, been meaning to do this video for a while. A lot of you have been wanting to know how to do camera angles like me or tune the trucks like I do, and I thought we'd go over that today, so let's just jump right into it. Alright, so I thought we would go over tuning first, and then we'll go into the video stuff. I might even show you a little bit of how I edit my videos, make it a little easier for you guys. But to tune a vehicle, you're going to want to go into the vehicle config. And I will normally always put the single bendy flag on just because that's always fun to have on there. It's really hard to knock off and it'll bend back into the chassis and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Other than that, I normally always have the 2-speed Blaze transmission. You can get that out of the Blaze pack. I will link that in the description for you guys. And then on certain trucks, I will run things, different things like open front differentials, and that's these lockable front differentials. Those are always going to be open right off the bat. But if you do front differential, that's obviously just going to be the lock differentials. And the posi is more for like a Gravedigger setup from like 2004 or 2005 and on. And then I will always make sure that I have independent rear steering. That's just what I like. That's more preference than anything. And from there, you can change your tires from down in here. You can change your rims just up above it. So I got lots of different tires, and if you don't have any of these tires, they will be coming out eventually. It's just a matter of time. So after all that, you have everything that you want in here. You're going to want to go over to the tuning area. And I normally leave all this stuff the way it is, because every truck's a little different. But I normally leave this stuff about at this area as well in the powertrain section. I will leave this about right here. Sometimes I'll turn first gear down or whatever, but I like it to be pretty balanced. And I'll come down here and I'll always turn my rear steer rating to about -18, -16 kind of area. It just makes it less snappy, makes it a little easier to control in the turns. And then for gear generator pressure, that's basically your supercharger. I normally, on this truck, turn it all the way down because identity theft is a naturally aspirated truck. But if I do go up, I normally run around this kind of area, and the highest I will ever run, personally, is about 2.5 psi. So again, that's preference. A lot of the Blaze trucks that you download will come with everything jacked up, but I like to run everything about mid and never go over 2.45. Geez, I'm having a brain fart. But yeah, that's just my kind of like balanced setup. I also run a wheel, so it gets a little bit hard to control things if you have it too high up. So that's what I do for tuning for the most part. I can't think of anything else. I normally leave all this stuff alone. I know in a previous video that I uploaded maybe a year ago, I did mess with all this stuff, but ever since then, things have changed and everything's pretty balanced the way it is. I just go in and change a couple things here and there. Now we're going to focus on how I get my camera angles and stuff like that. Normally I will go into my console, and you always want to be on GE Torque Script. To get the console up, by the way, is the button right under escape. It's called tilde. You're going to press that button and it'll pop this up. And then you're going to want to come over here and select GE Torque Script. And then you're going to want to do set FOV, no spaces, then do a space. And I usually have it at like 10. But that won't take effect until you go into free cam mode, which is Shift C. So once you go into Shift C, you're in the free cam mode, but you're probably noticing the camera's pretty jerky. So what I normally do, you have to be in windowed mode for that, or for this part, and that is why I'm in windowed mode. You're gonna hit F11, and that will bring up the world editor. And then right up in this area is where I control my camera stuff. I usually have my camera speed at about 10. Sometimes I'll turn it down to 5 for like panoramic shots of the truck before the freestyle, but when it comes to freestyle, I like to have it on 10. And I'll drop this down right here and you'll see smooth camera. That is what I use to get my videos looking really nice, getting those pans in there. So it also significantly slows you down, but this is how I get the panning down. So I will show you, I'll do like a little freestyle out here and I'll show you how that kind of all comes together. But before I do that, I also just recently figured out, by the help of my friend Trenton, who is T.Ray, that you can zoom in and out really nicely. So like this, and I just featured this on this track in a video, the last video I just did. I reset the zoom in, zoom out keybinds They are normally 9 and 3 on your dial pad, but I decided to move them to K and L, which I had to. L is the coupling button, so I removed coupling. I just took it off completely, and I replaced them with L and K, so that way when I pause the game, to pause the game is J. So then you just have 3 fingers on the keyboard right next to each other. You can control everything really easily. And then you can unpause the game. But now I'll show you kind of how, in the other videos that I've done in the past, like Biohazard, how I kind of get those cinematic shots from camera shot to camera shot. Before I do that though, I just thought of something. There is a certain way that I record or go into my truck to record these videos. I don't normally record in third person like this or anything. I will normally press 3, and that puts you into relative cam, and that puts you in the cab where you can kind of actually control where you're at in the cab with the mouse. And then you can use WASD and move up, move around the cab, and I usually get a pretty good view going on, so sometimes I'm kind of eating the steering wheel a little bit, but that's okay. You just want to be able to see what's going on below you a little bit, and as well be able to see out the windshield pretty good. So this is about what I would see when I'm freestyling a truck. And I guess I'll just do the freestyle while I'm recording. So normally I'll just come around and I'll try to be I gotta hit the replay button. I will show you guys how to put that replay up in just a second. But I'll just come around and I will try to be realistic normally in my videos, but you know, when you're just hanging out and having fun with your buddies, it really doesn't matter what you do in replay mode or anything like that. So I'll come around, hit a couple jumps, and then I'll hit this last one right over here, I guess. And then I'll show you guys kind of how I get those different camera angles in some other videos. Okay, so getting used to this takes some time. It's definitely weird. You have to be in a certain position. And since I have the zoom in, zoom out, it's going to make things a little bit easier, but it is still very foreign. What you're going to want to do before you start recording is press Alt-U, and that will take away all your apps right here. So that way it's just a clean screen. Looks a lot better on the video when it's all said and done, and it makes things easier to edit as well. But I will normally just press J, and I'll follow the truck with my mouse, and then when it comes around to about here, I'll pause. And this is where I move the camera over to, like, say here, and unpause, and it starts going again. So that's pretty much how I shoot my videos. I'll just pause it, whoops, press the wrong button, but you get the idea. And you have to be pretty much flawless throughout this this portion of the video making. It's a lot to take in, but like once you get used to doing this kind of stuff, it's really fun to do. It takes a long time, don't get me wrong, and it's a lot of effort, a lot of extra effort, but it is really cool to see the final product of what you can do with these kinds of camera shots. Another thing that a lot of people have asked me about is how to get the replay app in the first place. So what I will do is I will press escape, and then I'll come down to this app right here, Customize UI Apps. And then you'll hit this little button right here, and you'll scroll down, I think all the way to the bottom, yep, right here, and you'll see it right there. I can't select it for some reason right now, but you will press that, and it will pop up on your screen, and you'll be able to drag it around. Let me get back into that screen. So you'll be able to drag it around wherever you want. I normally have it up here in this top left corner. That is just where I like it to be. But like I said, that will be gone when you're actually recording. You will press Alt-U and get rid of it, like so. And yeah, that's how you get the replay app. To use it, like I said, you press J to pause and J to unpause. But to start recording, let's say you wanted to record something. Where's identity theft at? Right over here. So you want to start recording. You press that button right there and it starts recording, and let's say you roll over and you weren't happy with that replay. Well, then you can just discard the replay by pressing cancel replay right there, that X in the top left corner of the box. So, but if you did like the replay, you can press save recording right there. It'll save it. You can pause and play it from there, or press J, and it all works pretty well. So after the recording is all said and done, you're going to want to go into the editing room. My editing room of choice is Vegas 14. If you can't afford Vegas Pro 14, you're going to want to get something called Hit Film. YouTubers like Torqueezy use this all the time for amazing YouTube videos. It works pretty much exactly the same as Vegas would, and it is all free. So keep that in mind if you're wanting to make some of these videos and you want to get away from Movie Maker. So moving on, starting one of these videos, I normally will go here. Here, let's turn up the quality a little bit. Draft to half. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we'll extend this out a little bit right here. Come on, baby. There we go. And I will normally use this frame button right here and get it to right where he starts moving. Trim the start. For some reason, my stuff is not locked anymore. I don't know what's going on with that. If anybody knows how to fix that, let me know, because I have been biting my teeth trying to fix that. But you're going to get that. So let's play it from here. Nice and smooth. Got the zoom in, zoom out. Love that new feature. But right when it pauses, I'm going to pause as well, and I'm going to use that frame again. Normally, I will also use some of the audio down here, but I had to mute it because I left my mic on. But, so I'm going to split these right here. And since I don't have audio to replace it, this is the whole in-between. This is me moving around, moving from place to place. But that's what you're going to be cutting out. So it's really smooth going into the next part of the video. So we're going to get it right about there. See if he's moving there. Nope. So we're going to get to that next spot where he was moving and trim the start of that video right there. So let's keep going. There we go. He moved 2 times there. We're going to go back 2 times. Trim start, and put them together. What also happens in Sony Vegas a lot is these parts of the audio will fade, so you'll have to go in here and take that off. But then when you're done with that, you'll get something like this. A smooth transition into the next part. So that is how I edit my videos. As you can see, when you're making an 8-truck to 10-truck lineup with this kind of style of editing or video making, it gets tedious. It gets really tedious. It's not necessarily hard, but it does take a very long time to get something like this going. So that's how I make my videos. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.